happening? What's going on? Welcome back to another Sebastian Lane live with your boy Dave and Rasta. Not the result, not the week you were looking for, but 9-1. How you feeling, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I take 9-1 over 1-9, but I mean, Saturday was ugly, bro. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was ugly. Um, it
Yeah,
wasn't even there wasn't even a seem like you just couldn't really figure out why. It just there wasn't anything exotic going on, man. We just couldn't stop it, man, for whatever reason. But is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Got to move on. Got a bye week coming up, so and now we get to see what we're made of, right? Everything's nice when you're winning. Uh, but what's the old saying? Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, you just got punched in the mouth. So, time to man up, regroup, and we'll see what they do in 2 weeks. Wake Forest, man.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of the brutal part, right? You got to wait 2 weeks to get back on the football field and at least get back in the win column. But got another live show tonight. Obviously, you got to be on here in a few minutes. When we'll talk to him, a recent FSU decommit. There's a lot of turmoil going down there. Like you said, I'd rather 9-1 than 1-9, which I don't think no program has done, at least, since the way. Uh, but yeah, obviously it wasn't the result we wanted. 9-1. Obviously, rather be 10-1 or 10-0, but this is kind of where you put your teeth back in your mouth and go out here and show what you can do. Obviously, Cam Ward didn't have one of his best games, but the defense obviously just continued to not make adjustments, to look lost all over the damn plate. Man, I mean, I was frustrated as a defensive back, man. I like, when you watch, obviously it's easier to watch, from a distance and watching TV, but man, it's every single week. We seem like we're a step behind. We seem like we're confused. We're missing assignments. We're not in the right gap. It's just like, man, how many times can you go out there and make the same mistake until you finally wake up and say, hey, this ain't it, man. We got to change something. You know, and it's not even just one position, bro. The D line hasn't been up to par since the first couple of weeks. Linebackers look, slow and out of place and, kind of confused. It just seems like there's no communication, no leadership, nothing. And I don't know, man. I kind of want to see, obviously, over the bye week, you come back out of it. We haven't done well in recent history coming out of bye week. And obviously, we got to win in the last one, but want to see if we come out and make adjustments. Maybe you might see a new guy starting or get more reps or whatever the case may be. But we got to see something, bro. At the end of the day, this is just not it. This isn't what we need to do going into the ACC side of game plan. SMU, if that's how it shakes out, it definitely going into the playoffs if you make it. There's a lot of mistakes that can happen between then and now.
Yeah, it's amazing to me the gap between the offense and the defense. I mean, when the offense is clicking, man, it's just clicking. But if you want to, kind of, nitpick and things like that, you look at the offense and, 50 points a game, all the yards, all that stuff. But even at times, though, and I thought Saturday was kind of like that. The first touchdown, and you're like, oh, here we go, here we go, and then you just kind of stall out a little bit for whatever reason, and then you wait in on that third and fourth quarter uh, almost every week, and occasionally that's great. You want to want to be able to make those adjustments if you need to, but it's not even like you're making adjustments. It's kind of like you're just sort of waiting, and then it's like, all right, here we go, and that bodes well now. But I don't know what's going to happen once you get, you know, playing with the top teams in the country, and so. And I know it gets frustrating. It seems like every week the offense just got to, do so much. But at the end of the day, there's a lot on that defense, man. And I know it was getting you. You're a secondary guy, so I know you were probably losing your mind. I know I was, but like I said again, they didn't even do anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you should have been able to figure things out, right? You
And
just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen the timeline, I've seen the fan base going uproar, and rightfully so. I mean, but at the end of the day, man, these young kids have to get in that film room. They've got to sit there and study, watch as much film as they can. I mean, it's simple mistakes, right? Like you're in a cover two on a 3rd and 18, and you don't even know where your zone is. You know, like I mean, it's simple mistakes. You know that can be cleaned up. I still don't understand why we never jam a receiver. I mean, we're playing 10, 15 yards off the ball. You're not going to jam them. I get it. But when you're playing up on the line, we don't reach our hands out to try to stick them. It makes no sense. And it's like just simple little things like that. You can understand how to what your opponent don't like, what he does like. You know, if you kind of fake jam him and bail out, does he jump back or does he kind of try to fight out of it? Like there's so many different things, and you can just tell we don't watch film.
hmm
Like I know everybody wants to blame Gidry so fast, but nobody had any issues with him last year.
hmm
Nobody, everybody wanted him to stay an extra 3 years.
yeah,
Yes, he deserves blame. Don't get me wrong. You got to play to your team's weakness, but you can't sit here 1 year, bro, and want the guy to get extended for 5, 6 years. Then the next year you want to fire him. We got one thing we got to do is get the right talent into this roster that'll fit his team. Yes, as a coordinator, your job is to scheme to your team's strength, but at the end of the day, Mario said it before. You see Saban and all these other guys that they'll tell you this shit all day long. Talent outweighs coaching. If you get top talent in, it don't matter. What you have to do on the coaching staff. These guys, we just got to get better talent.
hmm
Going in here and getting key role players and all this other crap, bro, stop. There's a lot of guys that should not be on this roster, and you can tell. I don't want to hear, oh, well, he played well. I don't want to hear well. We need guys that play great. You
hmm
go look at Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas. A lot of these teams that are top five every year, they're top five in recruiting and they're top five in the portal. They're not going to pick and choose just to find guys to fill roster spots. They're going out and they're loading up
yeah,
consistently.
yeah,
That's what we have to do. Stop taking these guys from Middle Tennessee State and Vanderbilt just because they had a good year there. Vanderbilt's doing mighty fine without those guys. you know. So go get dudes that can actually impact your entire roster.
yeah.
Like I know some guys were talking about earlier. We should have focused more on defense than we did offense this offseason. Why not focus on both? Load
Thank you.
completely up on everything. Fill
Yep.
fill your roster with dudes. Stop this cheapskate shit.
Yeah, because you're always going to be in that. I mean, if that's kind of your plan, like for example, we're going to fix the D line this year, and then we're going to fix the O line. It just becomes that cycle because now once you cycle back through, now these guys have been here a couple of years. Now they're going to leave you. Just fix it, bro. Just go get guys. You need a roster. You don't just need spots. And I think what frustrates me in the day and age of the portal, the transfers, there's really no excuse not to have dudes on your team. You know what you need, or you should. You're with these guys every day. Um, you spend more time with them than you do, with your own families. You know their tendencies, their abilities, all this stuff. And things happen. You can't control injuries and things like that. A guy goes down, but to have one guy go down because it seems like there's one or two names keep getting thrown around. Well, if we had this, bro, if one guy goes down and it just depletes your whole the whole side of the ball, something's wrong. So, go get guys, man, load it up, use that portal for what it's for, the NIL and all that jazz, man. That's what it's here for. There's really no excuse this day and age not to have talent on your roster where you need it. You should know where you need to address these things, and then you go fix it. And like you said, just go get guys, just address it all. I never understood well, we're going to address this year and we'll worry about that next year and that sort of thing. And especially with the portal as well, it can work for you or against you. You don't know when a guy's going to decide to leave and things like that. You've always got to have dudes, and you got to have somebody on deck to step in and take and fill those spots when guys go down or they leave or whatever the case may be. But it that deal that we saw Saturday, well, that was, and we all kind of thought, hey, we're going to have a bad game. Eventually something's going to catch up to us. But I think that's what got me Saturday. There was just no need in it. Again, it wasn't like Georgia Tech was doing anything crazy, that we hadn't seen and things like that. But the fact you had no answer for that, and they just did it over and over and over and over, and you just stood there taking it for 4 quarters. That was tough to watch, man.
Yeah, I guess just hopped on. Let me go ahead and see if
All right.
he's ready to go.
Okay.
It's good, bro. You can hear me? I see the mic on mute. I don't know if you know you're on mute or not.
Yeah, let me message him right quick. If you can hear us, bro, you're on mute. We can see the
Yeah,
mute right there.
Let me pull them off real quick. Maybe a service. Let me see. I can see when you unmute it. So,
Oh,
um,
okay.
but yeah, I mean, I agree, bro. At the end of the day, we definitely we're recruiting at a great level. No matter what. But you got to also go in here and just continue to stack talent and just prepare yourself. In case injuries happen, you can't just sit here and take one guy and then try to take fillers and all that. No, we need to go get just straight dogs. Across the line, speed, physicality, size, like bring the whole shebang. And I think obviously, once we get to that level, and Mario's getting there. I mean, obviously it's just year three, and the team looks, a lot better, obviously, than year one and year two. But you just keep stacking up talent, and obviously, like the young man who's about to hop on here, his 2026 class is loaded.
Oh yeah.
So at the end of the day, you keep recruiting like these top level guys, and your roster obviously will come. So you got to continue, and like you said, use the portal for what it's there for. It's not
Yeah.
there to build a roster like some teams are trying to do. It's there to add pieces when you need them. So definitely continue to do that, continue to grind, and obviously, you know, the coaching staff continues to also get better for themselves. Obviously learning everything, the ins and outs of their own team, and kind of just making adjustments. We've all said it before. Gidry's done well in second half adjustments, but obviously with the injuries in the secondary, we're only down to like I think 5 scholarship DB our cornerbacks, which is I mean that's never good, bro. You're supposed to have like at least 8 on a roster. So the freshmen are banged up and everything else. They had to take Robbie Washington, convert him to a DB. So, there's a lot of moving pieces, man, that we still have to focus. The
Yeah.
linebackers have been banged up. D line has been nicked up. So kind of trying to get healthy, obviously, for the playoffs. But that's the key. Get these guys back right. Obviously, when Damari gets back, you got another, elite DB. Then you can obviously move Daryl Porter back to the boundary this past weekend, which is where he should have been at this whole time. So, hopefully we can make that shake, make it work out. Because obviously OJ is doing a hell of a job on the back end.
Oh,
But
yeah.
some people wanted to go at Zaquan already, and I think you got to realize that he's still a true freshman. Some of these true freshmen, yes, you'll get them there ready immediately, but some of these guys they need to get them game reps and let the game slow down and start to come to them. I mean that's a huge factor. Yeah, he looked out of place and slow, but obviously he's still trying to learn the game. This isn't high school. Game's much faster, especially when you got guys. Georgia Tech's not slow. They got elite speed on the edges or out wide, just like we did. Malik Rutherford is literally from down here. So at the end of the day, bro, we got to do a lot better. Once we get a little more healthy and hopefully bounce back in 2 weeks against Wake and take them up through there. Actually do what we're supposed to do on defense because we all know Wake Forest loves that slow mess. Let the play develop behind you and hopefully the BBs can hold up. I ain't gonna lie, I'm
Yeah.
kind of nervous.
Yeah. And, and I know, again, coming off of that loss and, as bad as it was and things like that, it's easy to think the sky's falling. But I'm going to be honest with you. At the beginning of the year, somebody had told me after 10 games we was going to be sitting 9-1. I probably would have taken that. And
right,
you still got everything in front of you. Uh, you've got the bye week to fix some things, and you hit on that earlier about we don't historically come out of bye weeks looking the best sometimes, but you kind of know your issues, you know what's there, and use this week for what it's worth. We talked about using the portal and things like that. We use this bye week for what it's supposed to be, and get yourself back together. And again, now I'm really anxious to see what happens because now this is the first real adversity this group has seen. And
right.
again, whenever everybody gets along well, everything goes great when you're winning. But when you got it, when you get that first loss, you got to kind of pick yourself up. So I'm interested to see what happens, man.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I guess just pop back off. So
Okay.
hopefully, he fix his mic and get back on. I just sent him a message too. Um, Getting into recruiting, obviously, we only have like 3 weeks left before early signing day. I'm just not saying national. Kind of is like it because everybody signs nowadays early. But there's a lot of targets that we're still after. You have a couple guys or we have one guy just decommit. TK Mo, I forgot, whatever it told me how to say his name. Offensive lineman out of Jacksonville. Yes, we offered a couple of linemen. Yes, Mario's still going to go after the O linemen. That's what he does. But there's still some flip potentials out there. You have Ben Hanks, obviously, a lot of people feeling comfortable with. Hayden Lowe, the defensive end out of USC. Mario's still going to chip away at guys like Elijah Griffin, Elias Williams, the whole shebang, Burnell Brown, Dallas Wilson. Obviously, it's not a lot of news going around. I mean, I haven't heard of anything leaking out on the timelines or anything about potential flip. Besides, obviously Ben Hanks, people still talking about. But how are you feeling? 3 weeks away, minus sitting 9-1, hold their own destiny to the ACC title game. How are you feeling going into early signing day?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now, I feel fine right now. I think there's still a lot left on the table because when you start talking about the potential flips, and there's a lot of names out there, and we've all heard the same names over and over. But when you look at those potential flips, if you land, you get a couple of those. That's gonna be huge for the class, gonna be huge for the rankings
Mm-hmm.
because they're big time elite dudes that you're going after trying to flip. And
Right,
again, I think that makes it even more important to see what happens against Wake Forest. What's going to happen in 2 weeks? Everybody's going to be watching, not just us as fans, but recruits, players, things like that. You
right,
touched on the 26 class. I know we're trying to wind up to 25, but that's important going forward. That 26 class is you've almost got to try not to have an elite class out of those young men because it's crazy. Almost each position, how deep the talent goes. So, I think how we respond and how we come out against Wake Forest is huge because that also says a lot as far as the coaching staff. We're talking about the players and um, kind of rebounding, getting themselves together. Well, coaching staff as well. How's the coaching staff going to handle this? Because again, everything's still in front of you, and it's easy to say that the sky's falling, as I mentioned before, but it's not. And
right.
so get everything together, man. Rally those troops up, come out and look sharp against Wake Forest, and finish strong. And that helps in recruiting as well, right? When you got that strong resume. This is year three, and again, Mario's sitting at 9-1 compared to what he came into. So let's
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep that in mind and keep everything in front of us, man. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what you said. At the end of the day, seeing how this staff responds is a massive thing. But also, there's going to be a nice little group that's going to visit for that Wake Forest game, including, like you said, some 2026 guys. There's also some official visitors that'll be in town. So that game is very key to see kind of how Miami responds, how the staff responds, how this team responds. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Mario and the staff are going to hit the road. Obviously, it's a bye week, so they go out, hit the trail, going to recruit. But Mario typically is known for at least having some out of the blue flip, something that nobody's even thinking about, or even just a random commitment, right? and that hasn't happened this season yet. Not out of just nowhere. Nobody's even talking about. Nobody's even thinking of, and he just flips right. So I would still kind of wait and see. And obviously, there's nothing positive as far as the what's being out there. But I wouldn't be surprised, man. This is what Mario does. Like I said, I mean, he's been loading up, waiting for this year to kind of, hey, look, this is the future of the program. And he's already done it on media. After a game, went on one of the interviews and said, it's easy to see where the programs in the state are heading. Obviously using that tool as recruitment, but I feel like no matter what, man, Mario's gonna get it right. He's gonna land us some guys. But I wouldn't be shocked, man, if it's not the class everybody dreamed of, top five, doing what they're supposed to do. But I will say, if we end up top 15, somewhere around there, we're not top 10. After just say a 12-1 season, you go to the playoffs, and it's your first ever ACC championship trophy and all this, and we're not top 10, bro. That'd be just a little disappointing, you know. Um, so I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
top
absolutely.
10,
Yeah,
I'm okay. We're right
yeah.
there. So 3 years in a row.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you would not be disappointed with that. And I mean, it's okay to say that. That's common sense to me. I mean, like
Absolutely.
everything you just hit on. If you end up, one loss on the season, just say if it plays out that way. One loss on the season, ACC title game, get into the playoffs.
Mhm.
Maybe if you make a run into those playoffs, you know what I'm saying, and then you can't land at least. I mean, honestly, bro, out of that, I mean, if you're not top 7 or 8, I'm gonna be a little upset myself. But I think
Yeah.
you at least got to have a top 10 class out of that. I don't know how you would not. And
Right.
it still seems like there is that one or two big flips that's going to come. You said that's what Mario does, is what he likes to do, and he has been consistent with that. But it still seems like there's one or two, maybe even one that we're not even talking about a whole lot. You're seeing the same names. You mentioned Ben Hanks, and
Hmm.
we all know Piggott, and the same names we continue to hear. But I don't know. It seems to me there's one out there that he's kind of working on. Maybe some one that a lot of folks have kind of forgotten over the last month or two. And so we'll see what happens. But it just sort of seems like there's still something in his bag that he hasn't pulled yet.
Yeah, and I think this season also is much like a trial and error with the staff. I mean, obviously they kind of got what they needed early on. Guys like Drake Stubbs, Jabari Anton, Bryce Fitzgerald. Some of those guys committed early, but you still kind of took some whiffs on some big time guys like Dallas Wilson, who I get was already committed, but guys like Burnell Brown and not Dallas Wilson, Jimmy French, and some big time guys that we were swinging the fences for, DJ Pickett. And I get it. You're not going to land all the big dogs, but I also feel like they kind of learned, let's not wait to the end of the year. Let's not just kind of put ourselves on the back burner that we'll flip everybody. And I think, honestly, we'll be fine. Next year is a massive class. 2026 got a lot of elite guys, and especially on the offensive line, it seems like we're in it for a couple 5 stars. Definitely a bunch of blue chip guys on the O line. We already got our quarterback committed, but there's a lot of guys, man. Obviously, Isaiah Williams was one that we had on, or we're planning to have on, and it feels like he's having some technical difficulties. But a lot of times, man, like you got to start getting these kids committed early. And I know a lot of fans go, "Oh man, it's still months away from signing day." That's just the new norm. Get these guys in the class and let's battle it out to the end, and let's see where they end up committed. But I think they change up their philosophy next year, and it kind of seems like they're putting pressure on some of these big guys in the 26 class and try to get them committed early, and let's just hold on tight to the end. So hopefully that changes next year. Hopefully we see like a better trajectory in recruiting, especially if you do have a phenomenal season like we're supposed to.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with recruiting, man. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of things are changing. You, I've seen more kids reclassify in the last month or two than I think I've ever seen, and it's not even, and that's not even done yet. But you
Right.
continue to see kids jump a class ahead, and go ahead and get in and get on these rosters.
Absolutely.
And I think with that, again, NIL continues to grow, portal continues to grow. The whole national letter of intent is even changing. There's just a lot of things going on right now. And again, at the end of the day, the big thing is winning football games. And to me, that's your biggest recruiting tool that you can have. And when you can show, and I think another big one too, and that's why I like to see these youngsters get on the field, these freshmen, because that's at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to play. And, when you can look at the success, I know everybody mentions Ruben Bain, obviously, but, you mentioned OJ a while ago, Frederic, he's having a fantastic season. You're seeing guys like, Justin Scott and Armando Blunt get on the field early, and just, making contributions, and that's what you want to do as a freshman if you can just get on the field. So, I think if you can continue that trajectory, it does nothing but help your whole recruiting process, your whole recruiting class. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, you put some wins behind that, man, and that's where you want to be.
He just hopped back on. Let me see if he's good
Okay.
now. What's
All
good,
right.
bro? You good? Your mic's still on mute at the moment. I don't know if
I'm messaging him right now.
the device just disconnected. I think he's having difficulties with his signal. We'll try to get him on next week or something. We'll see if it'll help out. I know some of these guys, man, they got practice. They're wrapping up, are getting ready for playoffs and stuff. So, they just hopped on. Let me see if he's good now.
Okay.
Hello.
Good, you hear me?
Yes, sir. I was trying to figure out how to turn the mic on.
You good, man? We can hear you now. I appreciate the time, man. We appreciate you coming on. For everybody that's watching, bro, let them know who you are, where you play, what class you're in.
My name is Isaiah Williams. I play linebacker at Tavares High School. Yeah.
I got you, bro. We won't keep you on too late, man. I know you kind of got school and stuff in the morning. You guys are getting ready for playoffs and stuff to finish up the season. Just real quick, man. What's your current height and weight? Your measurables.
My height is 6'1", and my weight, I bounce in between 215 and 220.
Gotcha. So obviously, you're still in the 2026 class. You got a whole another year ahead of you, man. How are you feeling though with all the recruitment picking up? And I know you just recently decommitted from Florida State. So I know a lot of schools are contacting you and stuff like that. How you feeling, man? How's your recruitment going? Just kind of give us a little detail on that.
It's pretty good. I feel like I make some decisions a little too quick, so I feel like I'm gonna keep it open this time, and then by December, next December, I'll have my place where I'll be locked in with them.
I got you. So obviously, Miami's been in recruitment. We've also used last during this springtime stuff like that. What's your relationship like with the staff? Who do you hear from the most? And how was your visit a couple weeks ago?
I talked to Coach Derek Nicholson a lot, and I talked to Coach Sab a lot. So it's a good relationship with them. I talk to them like twice a week, probably twice a week most of the time, twice a week. And when I go down there, it felt good when I went down there. So yeah.
I got you. So obviously, getting your first game fill in. A lot of people like to talk about Miami's fan base and how they don't show up. The atmosphere is dry. How was it for you seeing it in person? What was your take on it?
It's great to me. It's like everybody come out to the game, like even if they're not coming inside, it's everybody's coming out to support Miami. So that's good. Like I like seeing that.
I got you. Outside of Miami, who else are you hearing from? What other schools?
I've been hearing from South Carolina a lot, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, like mainly SEC schools. So those type of schools, like the bigger schools, yeah.
Gotcha. So obviously Miami's 9-1. Mario Cristobal has kind of got the team rolling. Obviously took a loss last week, but still in the contention for a lot of things this season. What's your take on Miami's season this year? What's your take on the team and the staff?
They have a great season. I don't feel like the one loss hit define them that much because they still having a good season. So and Yeah, I like how they play, like how they linebackers flow around and stuff. Especially that number one. I forgot his name.
Yeah, Kiko. So obviously, you play linebacker. Coach D Nick is recruiting heavy. What's he like? Kind of just talk to me about Coach D Nick. How he is as a person. How he is as a recruiter and a coach.
I feel like he's great in all those aspects. Like he he do good with recruiting. Like I know he a great coach too. So yeah,
I got you. I got you. I'm gonna pass my co-host, man. He'll chop it up with you and then pass it back.
yes sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for your time. So, again, I know you recently decommitted from Florida State, and then the last day or so, a lot of coaching changes came down from them with their staff, coordinators, wide receiver coach, that sort of thing. Um, did you have any idea any of those changes were going to happen, or was that kind of a surprise to you when you heard the news?
Um, I kind of felt like that was gonna happen, because like they're not having a good season, and it's not like it's just I don't know. It has to be like the coaches because it's like it's not like it's getting better. So
Mm,
I was thinking that was gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. Um, Couple things I know. Again, you've got a long road. Your recruitment's far from over. What are you kind of looking at when you look at a program? What are some things stands out to you? Things you want to see that's going to help you make a decision?
Um, I mainly want to see the school because I know like school come first because everybody's not promised to go to the NFL.
Hmm.
So I mainly look at the school, you know what I'm saying, and like what the school has to offer for me.
Got you. Uh, do you look at all as far as like the type of system they run, the type of DC they got, defensive coordinators, things like that? Are you looking to play in a certain kind of system, or do you think you can just kind of fit in wherever you need to?
Um, I feel like I can fit in whatever I need to, but I like seeing some like the programs that use their linebackers, in every way. So blitzing them off the edge and like every way, like in the middle, everything.
Got you. Um, Obviously, I've watched your film. I know both of us here have watched your film, seen your game. But for those who are watching and listening, may not be familiar with you, describe your game to everybody and kind of let what is a program going to get if they land a commitment from you? What type of player are they getting?
I'm gonna be a player. I'm gonna go in there and work every day, and whenever I'm on the field, I'm gonna give my all to try to make some plays and do what's best for the team.
Got you. Are you how are you as far as I know some guys like to lead by example, some guys are a little more vocal than others, say, in the sidelines or in the locker room, things ain't going good, things like that. What kind of guy are you in that aspect? You a vocal guy, you lead by example, kind of how do you do that?
I feel like I lead like I feel like everybody like on my team like they look up to me because it's like we don't have players like that like with all the offers and stuff. So I feel like it's just natural they look up to me, and they're already watching what I do. So I feel like that's just how I lead. Like I don't really say too much. I don't like to talk to like everybody a lot. So I feel like, but when somebody mess up, I like I let them know they mess up or and I'll show them how to do it. So I think I'm a leader
Got you.
by example.
Got you. Got you. I know we always like to find out, you play other sports, things like that. I know you're a track guy. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit? What events you compete in and kind of tell us about your track background?
Yes, sir. I do the 100. I do the 200, shot put, long jump, and high jump, and 4x1. So yeah, I do those type of events.
Okay, cool. And I think you mentioned this earlier, but I just wanted to ask you again. So, um, again, I know you've got a long road. Do you kind of have an idea when you want to make a recommitment? Do you have a timeline on that?
Yes, sir. I want to be locked in with a school by December of next year
Okay.
because I want to be an early grad and get there, learn everything.
Got you, got you. Last thing for me, man, I'm gonna pass it back, and then we'll try to get you out of here for the night. Just something we kind of like to touch on. When you're not on the field, you're not playing, you're not track, things like that. What do you like to do in your free time, man? As far as hobbies, interests, what do you like to get into?
I like to find ways. I don't I people might say they like to play video games and stuff, but I like to find different ways to get better. So I'm always watching football,
Hmm.
like the
Yeah,
best like linebackers, anything to that would make me better.
Got you. Fantastic, man. Thank you so much for your time. That's all I got. I'm gonna pass it over, and we'll try to get you up out of here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got a few more for you, man. And like you said, we'll get you out of here for the night. Obviously, growing up in the Central Florida area, who were you like? Who did you watch mostly, like growing up, like fan or just team you primarily watched, or NFL?
For the NFL, I always watch the Dolphins. I always like the Miami Dolphins and the Bucks. So like in between them two teams. And for college, I always watch Miami and Florida State.
Gotcha. So, obviously growing up playing linebacker, was there somebody you modeled your game after and looked up to play the position?
I like Reuben Foster. I like watching how he played Reuben Foster.
I got you, man. So, like my guy was saying, is there like watching Miami scheme? Obviously there are multiple defense that run a 4-3, play 3-3-5, like they do everything. Do you like that? Like, is that something that you're like, man, I like it because it makes me versatile? I make it to the next stage in NFL, or are you like, nah, I want to do 4-4-3 or 3-3-4? Like, are you set? Like, kind of, what's your take on scheme?
No, sir. I don't want to be one sided. I like to show that I can do everything. 'Cause I feel like that's that better your chance against the NFL, showing that you can do everything that a team needs you to do. So yeah,
Gotcha,
I like how they do everything.
gotcha. So, obviously playing linebacker, you have to be versatile. Like we just said, being able to cover, being able to come downhill, stop a run. Do you think, with your game that you lean more like you're better in the run stopping, or are you better out in coverage, or you kind of equal?
I think I'm better in the run stop because I feel like one thing with linebackers is like when you're younger you get taught to is run first, but like so you're not used to having to go to coverage like that when you're younger. So yeah, I think I'm better in the run game. So, but I've been working on my pass though. I got me a K 6 this year.
I got you. Hey, that's the start of it. So, but hey, man, we appreciate your time, man. We appreciate you coming on. Before you get out of here, let folks know where to follow you: Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want people to tune into your recruitment. Did I lose you? Can you hear me? I think I lost him.
And my Twitter is
Oh, there you go.
my bad. I had to check what it was. My
You
Instagram
good.
is _IZW_6, and my Twitter is Isaiah_Williams.
I got you, brother. Well, I appreciate you, man. Best of luck the rest of this year, bro. Go ball out, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, man. So obviously that's a four-star linebacker out of Tavares High School, Eastburg, Florida. Um, Big time linebacker, man. If you haven't watched this tape yet, please go turn it on. Definitely happy Miami is in his recruitment. There's a couple linebackers out of Florida. I definitely hope that Miami lands next cycle. He is definitely one of them. But hey, man, that's about all we have for tonight. Kind of a little shorter show tonight. Our other guests couldn't pop on, and so we'll try to get him on here in the near future. Dave, you got anything before we get up out of here?
No, man, I'm all good. Everybody rest up this weekend, man. Let's get back on track in 2 weeks.
Facts. Hey man, y'all know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, go to YouTube, type in Sebastian Lane, Colin's Behind the Mask. Appreciate y'all, man. As always, it's all about the youth.
Yes, sir.